Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be reviewing the new Lion King collection by Sir John Luminess, and I'm going to tell you my 3 issues with this collection as well as the movie. I think it's funny how his name Sir John sounds so similar to Sir Elton John, who also did the music for Lion King. Anyway, let's get started. First of all, the highlighter here, it retails for $40 and I wasn't too impressed with it. That was my #1 issue with this collection. It barely showed up on my skin at all. Now, I'm more olive toned, and even though I read the reviews that for most skin tones this didn't work out, and for a product that's $40, it really is a waste to use this. Comparing it to, for example, other lines like Kylie Cosmetics, which I'm not a huge fan of either, but those swatch much better. So as you can see, I'm swatching the Cheers Darling and the Ice Me Out side by side to this Lion King collection, and at least they seem to have some quality showing up. I thought it'd be a fun idea to go ahead and compare these swatches to, let's say, other highlighters that I already had and I reviewed for you guys previously, such as the Ciate Jessica Rabbit collection, which I don't know if you remember, but the first one they sent me was completely broken and I had to send that back. Nevertheless, these seem to show up a lot more visibly on my skin tone than the Sir John collection. I also decided to go ahead and compare it to the Aladdin MAC collection, which is very similar, but the Aladdin MAC was still more visible on my skin tone than the Sir John Luminess. So I highly recommend Jessica Rabbit, Ciate over all of these, and then perhaps secondly the Kylie, and then lastly the Lion King. Now, I decided to go ahead and compare it even more with other highlighters in my collection, such as the Disney Villains collection. The first one I wanted to compare it to is the Snow White highlighter, which it's more glittery. I don't know if you guys can see it or not. And then the Ursula one, which is just purple, so I didn't bother with comparing it to that one. And then we have Maleficent, which is more like on the yellow side. And then my favorite is the one from Princess and the Frog, which is very flattering on most skin tones. And when you compare that to the Sir John collection, you'll see that it still has a lot more pop in it than the Sir John collection. So I decided to keep going back and making sure that I'm not making a mistake with this, but the quality, you guys, is really just not there. And I believe this product is made in China, so I don't know what that says about the product, but I would not recommend this highlighter at all. Now, next of all, moving on to the palette. As you can see, the range, it's quite wide, and you get supposed to get a lot of color. I thought when I think of Lion King collection, I think of the Afrique by Juvius, because it has a lot of colorful tones in there. Also, what I think when someone talks about a Lion King collection, I would probably assume more golds and more yellows. Now, with this palette, the nice thing is you have a really pretty case. It's kind of etched, and the design is just really beautiful. However, you only get 2 or 3 really standout colors. The other colors are mostly browns and neutrals, so I don't know if that's really something you want in your collection if you already have that. Now, moving on to the swatches. The brown color is beautiful. It's so rich and pigmented. Same with the blue and the green. I can't tell you how beautiful these look on the skin, but I want to go ahead and after this swatch the Juvia's Place collection next to it side by side and see how they compare. So Juvia's Place collection, as you can see, there's like a lot more of various colors in there, and the green already stands out, but it's not as shimmery as the Sir John collection. And the reds are definitely more pigmented and more warm. Then you have nice shimmers in there too. So overall, this is a much cheaper palette than the Sir John, and you get a lot more color. However, I'm not complaining about the Sir John eyeshadow palette too much because I still think the colors are unique enough for you to get them if you're interested in those blue and green colors. And so I have to say that this is probably one of the better products in this collection. You know, if you don't have enough browns and neutrals in your case. Next up, I want to go ahead and compare the lip products. I wasn't too impressed with this lip balm, you guys. It doesn't really show up as much on the skin. Again, I'm more olive tone, so I expect at least some kind of pigmentation to show up. Next is the lipstick in the shade Pounce, and this is a very nude, very ashy color, and I wasn't too happy with how it showed up on my skin. I guess if your skin tone is more pale, this might be a good look, but for me it really didn't do much. I like how they're so magnetic and they pop back in together. And then lastly, I wanted to look at the other lipstick, which was definitely a color that I really enjoyed, and this was the red color. And however, I will say if you're using this lipstick, you probably need to go back and reapply it a few times. And is if you want to get it, go for the eyeshadow palette and perhaps the red lipstick if you need those two colors. I would not recommend the others, but I'm going to include the entire collection with you in my giveaway this month. I decided to compare it with the new Natasha Denona Mini Tropic palette, and Natasha Denona's greens doesn't even come close to the green in the Juvia's Place or the Sir John collection. And the blue also, it's different, but they're not quite the same. So again, that's another reason why this palette would be unique. About the movie, my three biggest complaints were that the emotion didn't really show on these characters. They really couldn't get that across as they did in the animated version. And they also deleted a scene where Rafiki hits Simba, and I guess this isn't really a spoiler if you've already seen this. Also, don't forget to subscribe if you want to be entered in the giveaway. Thank you guys, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.